Hello, welcome to a little recap on improvising over a chord progression that you find in the mood, probably in some other songs as well, or the one that I know to be is in the mood. And I'll try and keep this video short, but there's just so many things you can do. I'll try not to go on too much. But let's first look at the chord progression itself. Let's look at it in its basic root. It's just a G major chord. Then we got this fully diminished chord, and then we got a minor chord, and then a D major chord. However, we make adjustments to these chords, so we add a sixth onto that G major chord. Keep that as it is. The A minor chord we add on a seventh and put it down at the bottom. And the D major chord we take away the root, add a seventh and a ninth. So that's your first pattern to get your hand around with the left hand. Then with the right hand, you can use the G major blues scale to begin with. Yeah. So remembering some key points. So if you're going to stick on a note, it's got to harmonize with the chord you're on, like that. If I stick on notes that don't harmonize, it's going to sound something like this. You know, you gotta keep moving basically, yeah. So you can keep the tension going by just having a phrase that just repeats over the top of it. That's just one phrase. You could have any other phrase that you can think of. So you can do something like that, and anything you can think of. You can do rolls like you do in the blues scale. Yeah, and that brings me into another thing, elements of blues piano playing that you can bring into. So you might hear a lot in where they play octaves, and then you can do that with the octaves, so you can do that. Oh yeah, notice I'm also using. You can also use the G minor blues scale, combined with the G major blues scale. It's just down to taste and just experimentation with whether it's going to work or not. The G minor blues scale, I find it works particularly well on the very last chord, the D major chord. Yeah, kind of. So yeah, you can do that. Notice how it's a lot harsher, got a lot more sting to it, but it's what you can use. And then you can take it a step further, be adding a fifth in the middle of the octaves if you want to. Yeah. So basically, whatever I do with an octave, I have something a fifth in the middle following it. You'll hear that kind of playing. I've heard it in Jailhouse Rock. What's the one that goes like that? Yeah, Jailhouse Rock. You hear the listen to the piano playing in that. It's got a lot. It's an E flat. It's got that kind of stuff in it. Or listen to Your Funeral, My Trial, Sonny Boy Williamson 2, Sonny Boy Williamson 2. You can hear a lot of that kind of playing. Yeah, that's a fun thing to do. Quite difficult, but fun. And of course you have the rolls in blues. Which are really fun to do, and they help get you across the keyboard as well. You know, you can roll up, roll down, get around the place. Many other things that you from the blues that go into this, and then you get into more jazz piano elements of it, and that's, you can start by working with arpeggiating the chords, the same chords that you have in the left hand. And then when you're confident with that, you just work on different voicings. So take this and maybe put the G up here, or maybe put the B up here. And of course you can interchange between that kind of playing and putting the blues in the middle. So yeah, you can do that with the and then you don't necessarily have to always put in the exactly the same notes as we're playing the left hand and the right hand. So you could just do the G major chord, and that frees you up a bit. Less notes means you can just travel up faster. You know, just picking out certain notes. Pick your notes wisely. Don't say if you chose these 3 notes, it's going to have a weird kind of a big space there and then a small gap there, which is awkward to play and doesn't sound great. So you know, something with a nice even space, something like that. Get a really old traditional jazzy style, sort of like Fat Swallow. So yeah, you can do that with the arpeggios of the chords, and then also bring in chromaticism, just like you bring in chromaticism with blues. You know how you can just have a lick up to it. Just in a similar way, before each arpeggio, you just have a little chromatic push before it. Sorry. So you can just say to yourself, I want to do a sequence of arpeggios and just have a chromatic note just before each arpeggio. Something like that. And then it doesn't always have to be just one chromatic. It could be 2. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's awful. Pretending we've got the right chord progression. So you can see how I was going ba-da-ba-da. It gets more difficult the more notes you want to lead up to. You can do that with it, and you can have chromaticism at the top as well, at the top of the arpeggio. I keep going to A minor, right? You know, you have your target note. A D is going to be a very good choice over a D major chord. just have a da da dum. Da da dum. You know, you can put in a chromatic at any point. You could have it at every point. And it's all your canvas to play with, really. But another really important thing to think about is just don't just experiment for the sake of experimenting, but try and have a vision of how you want it to sound as well in your head. You know, because that's really the key to good jazz improvising, is you want to have an idea of what it's going to sound like in your head. So, you know, just doing a little bit of singing along as you play. Even if it's bad, just like that, it's still a good way to do it. So yeah, there's a lot of things in there, and there's many more as well. I don't want to cram the whole video with it. And I hope this helps, and good luck.